Categorically, Andrew Ireland said that the cost of living wouldn't come into play because a lot of his salary would be paid by third parties. So there is a need for a major investigation into this.
Oh, that was a little bit of 360 last night. Everybody was having their say. Andrew Ireland was on the show with Jared and Robbo, and the CEO of the Sydney Swans has been good enough to join us again this morning. Good morning to you, Andrew.
Good morning, Andy.
Congratulations first up. I mean, irrespective of what you think about the morality of the whole thing, to get him in is a remarkable achievement. Well done.
Well, I guess that hasn't actually happened yet, and the reality is that Hawthorn have got the right to match the offer. That's the way the restricted free agency works. So no one at the Swans is sort of counting that Lance is a Swans player yet. If I could just say one thing, because I'm hearing Eddie's comments there. At no stage did I talk about us having third-party agreements with Lance. What I said was that the AFL, I think you guys understand this, there's two salary caps. One's just pure player payments and the others are marketing or ASAs. And players split their contracts over those two. In Buddy's case, there's, because of his profile, if he gets to us, a lump of the contract would be in the marketing salary cap. And the reality is that marketing salary cap doesn't have a cost of living applied to it. So if you talk about the total contract, a small part of the contract actually is made up of the cost of living.
No, Neil Cordy was on who mentioned that at the top end of town had been canvassed for interest.
That's not right. At no stage has our club ever canvassed anyone to be involved in this, and if we had, I'm sure it would have got out a long time earlier, and the reality is that's an absolute breach of the rules. And whilst people might question what we've done, we're not silly enough not to know that if we were making a play for Buddy Franklin, that the AFL would look at it very closely. So, and the other thing is, if you think we need to pay him more than $10 million over 9 years, then I don't know why I don't think that'd be the case.
Andrew, good morning. It's Tim here. Are you more concerned about the Hawks matching the offer or the AFL investigation into the terms of the deal?
No, we're not concerned about the investigation into the terms of the deal. To us, it's very straightforward. We've done exactly what was required in terms of having the discussions with Liam and providing a non-binding offer, which clubs are allowed to do, because obviously you're going to discuss with the management what the deal might look like. In this case, it has to be non-binding because if Hawthorn did match the offer, he can't get to us. It's a pretty straightforward event in the case of a restricted free agent.
It's highly unlikely that they can match this offer, though.
Well, it's not for us to judge that. I guess, I was listening before and Andrew made the point that, with the passage of time, the back end of the contract isn't anywhere as big as it looks today. And I've been through this once before with Alistair Lynch when he came to Brisbane and we did a 10-year deal with him. Alistair was a year younger, so there's a year's difference between the two of them when they start. Alistair ended up playing 11 years, but I can guarantee you that his last year of his contract, of the 10 years, where he'd started at a huge proportion of the salary cap, by the end his payment was seen as a pretty low payment for a player of his stature.
Good morning, Andrew. Can you talk us through how this all unfolded? Because I've heard reports, in fact, that Buddy Franklin might have actually, him and his representatives, come to the Sydney Swans as long ago as 12 months ago to get the ball rolling on this deal.
Yeah, look, that's accurate. I think there is, I need to stress this. Buddy clearly wanted to get out of Melbourne. I know that he loves the Hawthorn Footy Club, but he finds the fishbowl of living down there, and I've heard even the last few days some of his teammates saying that people don't recognise the difference that he has to put up with compared to other AFL players. If he goes down the shop for a coffee, there's just so much scrutiny on him, and clearly he wanted to get out. I think last year there were a couple of things in Melbourne that, and I think there was a car accident, there's a couple of things that made him feel that he wanted to get out of Melbourne. Liam came and spoke to us about 12 months ago, about this time, saying that he'd like to move to Sydney, he'd like to join our club. At the time, we were involved in the Kurt Tippett deal, and when the Kurt Tippett deal finished, to be frank, our view was that we couldn't do a deal with Buddy, and really the thing sort of went away. But as the year started to get going again, Liam said, look, he's still very keen to come. And in the end, as we got a better feel for our list structure as the year unfurled, we were able to come up with the deal that we put forward to them. But Buddy was indicating from a long way out that he wanted to shift out of Melbourne.
Talking to the CEO of the Sydney Swans, Andrew Ireland, are you now concerned about the attack on the cost of living allowance that's afforded to Sydney?
Look, Tim, I guess we've been attacked on that for a long while. The reality is, or it almost seems, that there's a couple of riders with the cost of living. Clearly it costs much more to live in Sydney. Rents are about 30% higher than Melbourne. But the two riders are, you can have it as long as you're not winning, because then you're not ruffling anyone's feathers. And two, as we had done for a decade, stay out of doing any deals for any good players. Just go around and recruit players who are sort of on other clubs' lists. And if you keep doing that, that's fine. And we think we've got every right to join in, as other clubs have done, to recruit more higher-profile players.
Andrew, of course you do,
Yep.
And we respect that, of course. We appreciate you joining us, and let's hope that for your sake, the ink does dry and you get him up there. It'll be a massive coup. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Okay, thank you, Andy.